Well, good morning guys, it's me back out. I've brought you to the wonderful Kinneil estate, which is 5 minutes walk from my home, and I'm out for my hour's exercise. So what I'll do is I'll take you for a wander around, have a wee look around the big house and some of the other sort of nice wee historic pieces around about. The place that I live in is sort of steeped in history, so yeah, I think this will be a good one. I was down here about 2 weeks ago and my old camera failed me, so I lost all the footage, so come back down again just to give you a wee look around. So come on, join me. So this is the big house, folks. This is Kinneil House in its entirety. So the earliest reference to this place was in the, I think the mid 12th century, and it was in use as a house up until 1670, we believe. So this main part that you see in front of you, this is, since I was a child, derelict. But in this wing here, on that first floor up, there is some ancient murals that actually saved the place from demolition. It's open sort of a few times during the year where you can actually go in and have a look at these murals. It was 16th century mural paintings. I think some of them are quite biblical. I've been in a few times in my life. Mainly when I was a child, I was going in there to ghost hunt. There is meant to be a resident ghost, Lady Alice Lilburn, or the White Lady they call her. She seems to, well, she's said to be, she wanders the ramparts, and she doesn't like visitors. She jumped, I'll take you around, she jumped from the high point down into the burn beyond to escape her cruel husband. There's several stories. Another story is that she was jumping to escape English soldiers that were trying to besiege the house, or the tower house or palace at the time. So here's a wee look at the timeline. So there you go, Walter Fitzgibbon is granted the estate by Robert the Bruce following the Battle of Bannockburn. Late 1400s, the tower's probably built to celebrate the marriage of James Hamilton, which is who the house palace was built for. There's these murals that I was talking about. They're really quite impressive. So what we'll do is, if you want to read all about it, you can just pause and read, and then we'll move on. So we'll head round this way, because there's other things that I want to sort of show you. If I can just steady this camera, that's better. So here's the actual driveway in. That's looking back to the east towards Bo'ness. I think Kinneil at the time was a community of its own, as you'll see as we go around. So that wee building over there, that is the actual stables. That's now Kinneil Museum, where a lot of the artefacts from the actual house and the church beyond, which we will visit shortly, are kept. And also, not to mention the Bowness Hill climb, which runs on Kinneil Estate once a year. Unfortunately, we've had to cancel this year because of the coronavirus, because everything's quite unsure, but getting geared up for next year. So the Bowness Speed Hill climb, Bowness was actually the first motorsport venue in Scotland, so Bowness is the birthplace of motorsport in Scotland. I attend every year. It was revived maybe 11-12 years ago now, and a fantastic event. So I'll take you around the house. As I say, this was all my playground when I was a child. I used to come along here on the bikes and with my pals, and it was great fun. So this is the sort of side entry of the house. I don't know if we'll be able to see it because it's a bit dusty, but in this room here, if my mind serves me right, there is 3 big stone balls that have sort of significance, and there's also like big grave tablets from the old church, which we will head to in a bit. These wee gun slits. So back to talking about Lady Lilburn and the ghost. Lady Alice Lilburn jumped to the Gilburn. So I don't know if you can notice this top window here, the wee one. So she supposedly jumped out of there with her baby in her hands to escape English forces that were trying to besiege the castle, or lay siege to the castle, or to the house. And she jumped from that window way down there. Now down there, and I went in when I was a youngster, wouldn't attempt it now. There is a tunnel, a cave. All these big houses, castles have sort of exit tunnels. So seemingly back in the 70s, when I was just a bairn, there was a skeleton head of a baby found down there in this tunnel, and they're presuming that it could well have been Lady Lilburn's baby. But a lot of that is all just hearsay. So yeah, so it's a long way to jump. And over this ravine, you might see in the distance the church, which we shall visit in a wee bit. But yeah, this is coming round the house. And there's a wee bit up here that I just want to show you that we'll head towards. Look at all these holes. I believe these are for, I don't know, you would think air conditioning, but it's something to do with guns, cannons and stuff. I remember before this was bricked up, me and some mates actually managed to crawl in there. That was only bricked up late 70s, maybe early 80s. There wasn't much inside, just another blocked up room. Now, over here is a wee funny story with this. This is called the Witch's Stone. Now, it is said that this was actually a tree, but a witch seemingly turned it into a stone. And I was down here with my son, God, he must have only been about 10, and his wee pal, and we were walking his wee pal's dog, wee Angel, a lovely wee Staffy. and my son's pal had given me the dog's lead, and I'd sat down on this stone and the dog's lead had got jammed in here. Could we get the dog's lead out of there? No, I spent about an hour trying to get this lead out, and the more and more I was tugging at it, the more and more embedded it was getting. But thankfully we got it out. Thankfully we got it out. So this brings me to the next wee bit I want to show you guys. So here we are at the cottage that James Watt pioneered his steam engine. This is James Watt's workshop, and they think the birthplace of the British Industrial Revolution. So James Watt pioneered the effective use of steam and the steam engine at Kinneil from 1769 to 1770. And he was working for a dude called James Roebuck, who owned the Car and Iron Company in Falkirk, and they were looking at steam engines to work in pits, because Bo'ness has got quite a big mining history as well. So James Watt worked and lived in this wee cottage until John Roebuck himself, who was the funder, declared himself bankrupt in 1773, and so the partnership ended. There we go, James Watt, 1736 to 1819. He was an old guy. Inventor of the condensing steam engine, undertook his formative work in this building. Couldn't get my words out, it's kind of early. So obviously it's just a shell, it's roofless. There's somebody having eggs. Weird. Yeah, playground of many a child in this wee town. And here we see a cylinder of one of his original steam engines, and it was a cylinder erected by James Watt at the schoolyard pit towards the end of the 18th century, so late 1700s, whilst working at Kinneil. And it was acquired by the Bo'ness Gaslight Company and was re-erected here in 1946 by the Toon Council. So that was James Watt, guys. Legend, absolute legend. Here we have a wee bit of info on Mr. Watt. And once again, if you want to read all this, some people do, you can just pause and indulge. Look there, he's even signed it. Signed from the grave. And there's the dude there. A bit of a stern looking old chappy, isn't he? And over here we've got one of Bo'ness's very, very few waterfalls. Many summer days I spent underneath that waterfall. The reason the cottage was actually built there is because there was always a regular source of water and that James Watt would use. He just needed to nip out his back door. If we turn round on the bridge, go along a wee bit, trees kind of in the way. and you can look down at the Gilburn. It shows you how far down. See Lady Lilburn jumping out of that window. I tell you, that must have been a mess. Blood and guts everywhere. So there they are. So yeah, we're going to head over to Kinneil Church, and I'll tell you a wee bit about it. And further on for Kinneil Church, there is also part of a Roman fortlet that was built while they were building the Antonine Wall. I'll tell you a wee bit about that later. So yeah, so this is James Watt's cottage. Do you want to go in the back for a nosy? We'll go round the back for a nosy. And I'm trying to follow him arse. So I think this actually had a roof on it until the early 1900s. There are some pictures, but if you look back, my catalogue of videos, you'll find the moment in frame picture diary that I did when I was over here a couple of weeks ago, and you'll be able to see the pictures with the cottage with its roof on it. I think I named that Exploring Kinneil Estate. We've got this wild garlic. I'm going to come along here and grab some of this, because I was watching Hazy from Hayes Outdoors, and he made this beautiful wild garlic pesto. And also Robin for Walk with Wallace has been using the wild garlic as well in his cooking, so we have it in plentiful amounts here in Kinneil. So yeah, I'm going to grab some of that and do something. Or wild garlic puffs. I was about to say wild garlic something else, but I better know. It's not politically correct these days. So wild garlic puffs. Just a wee bit of puff pastry with wild garlic chopped through it. In the oven, a bit of egg wash on it. In the oven. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your Auntie Mary. And then you've got wild garlic puffs, and they're really quite nice. Right, I'm going to head over to Kinneil Church, so I'll bring you back in a minute. So heading over to the church, guys. So we're on the other side of the Gilburn, so there's Kinneil House over there, and we've come across the Gilburn, and we've come to this here, affectionately known as the Love Tree. When I was a youngster, if you were courting a wee lassie, is that what you call it, courting? Or gone out with a wee lassie, you used to come here and used to carve your names into the boughs of this tree. Me being me, I've climbed right up to the top and carved my name, and this wee lassie, I can't remember her name, into the tree. I might come back and do it one day and carve mine and Michelle's name into it. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I don't know if you can see any of the carvings. There's Suham loves Suham whatever's. Obviously it's not known so much as the Love Tree now because there isn't fresh carvings on it. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm away up there. I liked to climb when I was a kid. I like to climb as an adult, but I don't do it so much now because I'm just a lazy sod, to be honest. Yeah, that would make quite a good picture, that actually. I'll need to remember that on my walk back. So yeah, we'll continue our walk round. So yeah, if you can see in the distance down there, where the burn sort of goes under the road, that road is the start of the hill, the Bowness Hill climb. That's the start of what they call the Croyette, and that's where the cars start the ascent up the hill to complete the minute mile, which is the time trial that is the Bowness Speed Hill climb. So I'll bring you back in a minute once we get over to the church. So here we are, guys, at the church. So once again, if you want to read about it, just pause and zoom in if you can, if you're viewing it on your phone or tablet. If you're viewing it on your TV, better stick your specs on. So folks, here we are at Kinneil Kirk, old Kinneil Kirk. So they reckon that this sort of goes back to the mid-12th century, and it was in use up until mid-1600s by the residents in Kinneil House over there. It was set on fire by accident, I think by soldiers in the 1700s, because obviously Battle of Culloden and soldiers were all over the place. So it was set on fire by accident, and this is all that's left, folks. So I'll take you for a wee wander round. As I said, when I was here 2 weeks ago, it was a beautiful sunny morning. The daffies were out, it was gorgeous, got some good pictures. So go back my catalogue a wee bit and have a look, see the pictures that I took on that morning, because they're much better than any sort of stills I'm going to get today. But yeah, Kinneil Kirk, come on, I'll tell you a bit about it. So, the church, obviously, you've only got the gable end left now. And one of the bells, I believe, is in the Kinneil Museum. If I wasn't here so early and the museum was open, I would take you in for a wee look, but no can do, or no tinned pigeon, as they say. No can do, no tinned pigeon. So yeah, 1745 the building was gutted by fire. But over here, excuse me, that was a wee cough into the crook of my elbow. Over here, now try and picture this. So we've got a dude called Saint Cerf back in medieval times. I'm imagining Saint Cerf will be sort of a dude with a long white beard and a big white cloak. Well, that's my sort of idea of him. So he had this staff, which in Scots is just a big stick. And he launched this big stick over the River Forth, which is beyond these trees, and it landed in Cottage, which I have been over to video recently, which is another one where my camera cocked up and I only got sort of still photograph footage. But I was in the abbey, so have a wee look back my catalogue again. So this Saint Cerf dude launched his staff across that river 2 miles. I tell you something, he obviously never entered the Olympics because he'd be fantastic at the javelin. So where the staff landed is where he built Cottage Abbey. So he chucked his stick out of the water, then probably rode out of the water and found where his stick landed, and that's where he built his abbey. So the story goes. Anywho, some of you might recognise this if you've followed my channel for a while. This is where I reviewed the Coleman Rocky Springs tent, which is the tent that I'm using in my back garden at the moment. So it is. But I'm heading out to work on Monday morning to pick up another, because most of my camping gear stored at the work. And until I get my new shed built right enough. New shed's lying in the back garden at the moment because there's nobody to build it. And I'm not that way inclined myself. I'm not very clever as far as shed building's concerned. So let's have a wee wander. These gravestones, tablets, really interest me. And there's one over here that I want to take you to that's always so, wow. See this tree, by the way. This tree, when I was first in recovery from my alcohol addiction, I used to walk my mum and dad's dog, Kim. My mum always expected me down to her house at 10 o'clock to come and walk her wee Springer, and we used to always come along here and see these cherry trees. They are absolutely laden with the most beautiful cherries when the fruit comes to ripen. But where's this gravestone I'm looking for? Yeah, this one. Here we are. So Bo'ness obviously has quite a big tradition as far as sort of sailing and sort of mariners. It was the busiest port on this side of Scotland for many years, involved in whaling and all that sort of shenanigans. So this is obviously a gravestone slab stroke tablet for a sailor, because there be the anchor. And the date on that is, can you see that? 1627 GHK. Another one. I don't know if we can make that out. You know, I can actually make that out better on the camera than by the naked eye. Still not got a Scooby what it says right enough, but hey ho. And there's another wee one. AB. So if you can imagine the pulpit being here, and this is the sort of church, and I presume some sort of wee vestibule here, and surrounded by the most beautiful cherry trees and the cherry blossoms. Up beyond you see Kinneil Woods, which I've explored in another one of my videos. So yeah, this is it actually served as a parish church for residents of Kinneil as well, because Kinneil was its own wee community before the actual main sort of town of Bo'ness was built. You had Kinneil in the west and you had Caradon in the east, and then the town of Bo'ness just came in between. So hi guys, I hope you've found this informative. So folks, I'd like to thank you for joining me on this wee whistle stop tour of Kinneil Estate. I'd also like to ask you to stay safe, stay positive, stay healthy. These restrictions now have been sort of extended for another 3 weeks, and they'll probably go on further. But we need to look after ourselves, and we need to look after our loved ones. Check in on elderly neighbours by the phone, and if they need anything you can drop it off to them. So yeah, just look after yourself, guys, in this real horrible time. But as I say, I'm going to have to get cracked on because I've only got an hour, and I think I've been videoing for about sort of 45 minutes. But you know what, what's going to be the odd sort of half hour here and there, I suppose. But to say, I'm out here first thing in the morning and there ain't nobody here. I think I've seen one person walking their dog. So I've walked here, I've not passed a soul, and I'll walk back. So yeah, there's one other thing I want to show you actually. I'll take you over. Well, in fact, in the meantime, have you seen my new scarf? How cool is this? My missus, Mrs. Recovery WildCamper, does sewing. And she's got a wee business going. And she made me this cool Burberry scarf. The Burberry fleece. It's rare and warm. So, thanks, Michelle. So I was out walking one day, my usual sort of wander, and I come down here a couple of years ago and I'm like, what the beep? Like, where the hell did these things come from? So I had a look. Obviously Bo'ness has got a bit of a history of foundries and ironworks and things as well, so this is obviously to commemorate that sort of time in the town's life. There you go, Kinneil Kirk, a beacon for 1,000 years from Celtic beginnings to ruined sea mark, stood sentinel over land and water, buried miners and lost mariners. Oh, nice. What do we say in the next one? Kinneil Estate. New planted wildflower meadows, orchards, and the Duke's Gardens, which himself eclipsed the busy village that once encircled the church. Yeah, that's right. Round here, this grassy area here, used to be a village all round. Obviously you can imagine a village here, and then you've got the big house, or the big hoose as they call it. So what's in this one? Kinneil foreshore. I haven't even down the foreshore yet in videos, so I can't remember them being much interesting stuff in there. The land below was once sea, but the river force soft edges have been hardened over time. So there you can see, there's a better view of the Forth there, the River Forth. And we zoom in, so I don't know if I can quite make it out, these trees are in the way. Sorry about the jerky movements here. So over the other side of that water is where Saint Seth chucked his big stick, and then founded Curis Abbey, which is another fantastic sort of outlander location. They film there all the time. Kinneil woods beyond us. And sort of over this way here, there is two ponds, and in between the two ponds is the Roman fortlet. Also on one of my other videos. So the Roman fortlet itself was sort of occupied there when they were building Antonine's Wall, in was it 146 AD 146 I think. So the Antonines wall was the north wall, so don't go beyond the north wall. Don't go beyond the wall, John, because the White Walkers will get you, or the Celts and the Picts at the time. So Antonine built that wall, and there is quite a lot of history with the Antonine wall in Bo'ness. I might take you down to see the Bridge Nest slab at one point. And that wall came after Hadrian decided to chuck up a wall down in the borders in AD 122, I think. So yeah, so that's us reporting from Kinneil Estate. So thankfully with my new camera I can guarantee that I'm going to have this footage and I'll be able to upload it, and that you guys, my subscribers, and my guys from work that are self-isolating and or in hospital can view this. And as one of my guys said, Andy, it's the highlight of my day, so you know what, at least I know I'm pleasing one guy. So folks, if this video has been informative to you, please like, share, comment and subscribe if you've not already. Be grand. That's my on-call phone going, so I better get off. Always get concerned when I get a text through on my on-call phone. So guys, from Kinneil Estate, I thank you for joining me, and all you glampers, trampers and happy campers, have a good day, stay safe, look after yourself, stay healthy and stay positive, and I shall catch up with you tomorrow morning for our early morning daily donders. Cheers folks.